Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about Chapter 14, Section 4, which is Guidelines to Using Presentation Aids. So the first part of that is make sure you're rehearsing with your presentation aids to make sure you're comfortable with them. When you're giving your speech to your audience, it should not be the first time that you're practicing with your visuals. So you definitely want to make sure that you're rehearsing them and making sure that you're comfortable with them. Because if you don't, according to Murphy's Law, if something can go wrong, it will. So make sure you're making eye contact with your audience and not your presentation aids. Occasionally you should probably look over to make sure your chart isn't upside down or that you're on the right side that you're talking about. But along with making eye contact with your audience, you should also explain your presentation aids. If you don't explain your presentation aids, then your audience isn't going to know what point you're trying to make. So you're going to have to tell them that. So that is a big reason why you need to explain your presentation aids as you're going through your speech. So along with explaining your visuals, a great way to keep your audience following along with you is using handouts. You want to make sure you're using them effectively though. So ways you can do that are not distributing your handouts. As I was saying, you shouldn't distribute your handouts until maybe the end of your speech. If you're going to do it in the middle, you can also tell your audience to maybe keep them face down until you're ready to talk about that material. You want to make sure you're controlling your listeners' attention, clearly numbering your handouts. That way, in case everyone's looking at one certain page, you know which one to reference to. That way it's easy to follow along for your audience, or just don't hand them out until the end. Avoid the whole thing. So handouts isn't the only way that you can control your audience. You can also, and probably should, time the use of your visuals. If you have a distracting visual right off the bat, it's not covered or anything, it's just open for your audience to see. It's going to distract your audience right off the bat, so they're not even going to listen to you that much when you first start talking about your speech. So a good idea is to just cover it until you're ready to talk about it. Some ways that you can time your visuals is maybe using a remote, remove the audience's view of any images that you have up while you're speaking, or simply ask someone to help you either hold or maybe flip through your presentation aids for you. So those are some ways that you can control your audience, but some ways that you can't control your audience is using animals because they can be very unpredictable and they may also steer your spotlight. So use animals with caution. They can be very unpredictable and may also steal your spotlight. He just wants the treats. So they can be unpredictable, but they can also steal your spotlight as well. So use animals with caution if you ever use them as a visual in your speech. You should also incorporate your words and images into your speech, simply because if you don't, your audience isn't going to take much meaning to them. They're going to think they're not as important if you're not incorporating them into your speech. Lastly, to make your speech flow and be effective is to use technology effectively. Many speakers overuse their presentation aids to quickly grasp their audience's attention, which is not something that you should do. What you should do is have a backup plan. Make sure you bring either your laptop or a flash drive that has all your slides on it in case something goes wrong. Email your slides to yourself. You can also upload your slides and images to YouTube. That way you can access them through any other device. So in conclusion, those are all your guidelines to using presentation aids. Thanks for watching.